So we're on to red flag number 12 from my book, Burnout Buster. Discover your red flags and what to do about them. And number 12 is all about you being the boss. Now, whether that's that you are head of a business, head of a team, head of a family, head of your own business, whatever it might be, there's something extra that happens when you're in that position of responsibility that is a potential red flag, a bit of a risk for burnout. So let's have a look at that. Perhaps you were a born leader, or perhaps you've ended up there because, well, somebody had to do it. If you're driven to take up the reins, grab responsibility and make sure things happen, if the amount of responsibility or pressure then gets out of balance, it could lead to problems. If the buck stops with you, the pressure is on not to only just be responsible, proactive and strong, but to make sure nobody sees any of the cracks or doubts. If you're at the top of the tree, there's an additional isolation and facade of everything's fine, nothing to worry about. It's very tiring and very stressful. I work with some wonderful groups of head teachers, and one of the groups actually was set up because of the suicides among head teachers, where the pressure increasingly these days because of targets and other pressures and cuts in budget, it's a really scary time. And there's a danger of feeling utterly overwhelmed by the responsibility, cuts in budget, increases in targets, and a sense of isolation that it's all down to you and you can't talk to anybody about it. And of course, there is always somebody to talk to about it. And the difference that makes, especially if it's somebody that can say, I know how that feels, then that's absolutely huge. So, a real story. Being the groups of head teachers that I was mentioning, I hear firsthand the stories of people holding a school together. The staff, the school itself, the building, the families, the parents, the kids, the learning, the targets, just holding it all together. Being the one person who stays calm in a crisis and has faith that the whole school will make it through whatever the current tough challenge is, whether it's inspections or budget cuts. In my confidential conversations with chief executives and directors, they often talk about the need to be seen to have it all together and to make sure people feel safe, that the organisation is in good hands. There's a lot of pressure when all you want to do is shout, I'm struggling too, or I don't know what to do, or I don't know what I'm doing, or simply, this is so tough right now. It's all too easy to tell people to be authentic, and staff appreciate it when you're honest about your own fears, but there is a limit. It really doesn't inspire confidence if you throw your head on the desk and weep on a daily basis, even if that's how you honestly and authentically feel right now. So the Burnout Buster is acknowledge, opening up and talking about it, talking about how you feel is crucial. Realising you're not alone is also crucial. You need support from the right places, you need a safe person to be honest with, and you need to say yes when the right support is offered. If you're not getting offered the right support, you need to go out and find it. You need to ask. I know that's hard. You need to have at least one person you can be honest with when you're struggling, someone who really gets what you're experiencing, where you feel safe to just say this is how hard it is, and it doesn't mean you've failed and it doesn't mean you're about to give up. It just means you need to say this is hard right now. We all need to do that. Otherwise that tension gets stuck in the body and it resurfaces as physical, emotional or mental illness. You need someone who can be constructive about what happens next, so you don't just offload by talking, you actually have a conversation about what can you do about it to ease the pressure. There's a danger in just letting off steam and getting back at it without any measures to improve the situation, to stop you hitting another wall sooner or later. You need both the there and the what are we going to do about this? So find the right person, get what you need. Being at the top of the tree is really funky when it's going well, and it's really hard too. You don't have to do it alone, even if it feels like it. Find the right person and stop that being a red flag. Let's instead make it one of these. A winning flag! Yay!